Should be live. Press.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I have a wonderful guest on today. Her name is Christy Campbell.
Hi, everybody.
Uh, so Christy Campbell was targeted by the SSP at age 4 and put into a Montauk programming Honeypots spy assassins and has completed 420 and back missions. Chrissy was subjected to satanic ritual abuse. She is trained in remote viewing, psionics, and weapons. Chrissy had her awakening in 2011 when she completed the Karuna Reiki course.
Mhm.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
Been
thank
looking
you.
forward to this.
Yeah, that will be fun. Can you share a little bit more about your story and background for the audience? As I'm going to check everything that's going
Yeah,
on.
so you was talking about the Karuna Reiki course. That was in 2011 when I took the course. Oh, I took from Reiki 1 all the way to the Karuna Reiki Master. And then so that's kind of where my story really opened up like my abilities and everything too, because all my life I've been kind of sensitive and shy kind of in school and stuff like that, with being more introverted and just kind of not really fitting in all my life, it seems like, like growing up and everything. But then so I just would always search for how to open up my abilities to be more sensitive, like psychic, or I would read like Sylvia Brown. Remember her? Sylvia Brown and
Mhm.
some of those kind of books, just to try to help, but nothing was working. So after I had my son and he was diagnosed with autism, then I looked into doing like healing work. So I started taking the Reiki course to help like his stomach, because he was having stomach issues, not eating good. Um, and he was real hyper and everything too. So I started taking the course, and it took like a year for that. And at the very end, the my Karuna Reiki master teacher, she gave me the fire serpent symbol. And after that, my whole body got real hot, like heated. And then it seems like slowly that opened up the doorways in my mind, so I started more like looking at the super soldier stuff and alien stuff. And before that, I never even had an interest in anything alien, So um it was like it was I always thought that like if I started uh like studying alien stuff, then I would be abducted by them, And this was in like 2012 and 13 when I was going with that. And but then I just slowly started drawing like light language and researching like the super soldier stuff. I found like James Frank's channel, and then that really helped me to kind of, I was thinking with that, like resonating with that. And then I heard like Kathy O'Brien's story, and she talked about like George Bush Senior and stuff, and that kind of shocked my mind. For like a whole week, I was kind of in shock with that. Um, so I just started kind of slowly researching a little at a time, and then my ability started increasing as I probably was releasing a lot of the trauma, from that. So I was doing the animal Reiki too as a business for a while. So that's something that I'm really passionate about, is doing the Reiki on animals. I was doing it on horses and cats and dogs, and we can do it on any animal. And they're really open to accepting the healing and stuff. Um, so yeah, and then I started just doing the online my my one-on-one, my card readings and stuff for people, to kind of help them as well with their opening up more abilities and everything too. So that's where I'm kind of at
Cool.
right now. Mhm.
Okay, and what kind of things did you experience in abnormal or supernatural kind of experiences, if you don't mind me asking?
Like
Got it.
recent or growing up or
Whatever comes to mind, if you want to, what you're willing to share.
in my childhood, like I had, seems like when I was younger, like around 5 or so, there was a lot of time that I don't remember. And I had asked Ivan Teller about like some of that, like if was there like alien abduction at that time, because I just some weird stuff. I don't know what. Um, I thought there was like a tornado and like the house kind of lifted up, and I felt like that was something, because we got in like the bathtub. Anyway, that's something that kind of triggered my memory when I started searching for alien in my childhood. And that's around the time that I was the 5 years old, taken into the SSP for the programming and everything too. So, but I didn't remember that in childhood. Nothing. It's like my memories were erased until I woke up from, the Karuna Reiki classes that kind of started making my mind more open to more things as I worked through all the trauma that was kind of blocking it, I think, probably so, or the stuff that's, I don't know, something just happened, like I got mind wiped just now. Like I felt that. Like I felt like I lost my train of thought, and that didn't ever happen either. So it was talking about just releasing the trauma and stuff, and then that happened. So usually that doesn't happen.
Okay.
So with that, like with the abilities and stuff, yeah, you want to keep going asking a question then, because like something happened.
Sure. Okay, so and you said you had some pictures and presentation, so feel free to, when you want to bring that up, I allow you to share the screen. And
Oh, I didn't save them on my end though.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see what I can do. But whatever you want to bring up. And okay, so yeah, a lot of people deal with memory loss, amnesia, barriers, mind wipes, screen memories, etc.
Mm.
What uh what made it so that you started going into these fields that not many people even know about?
With the
What
super
were
soldier
those
stuff
events?
or what?
Yeah, what were those events?
Um, well, I started doing the light language first, just practicing drawing that. So I think that was unlocking the trauma. And then I was just kind of searching on I don't even know how I ran into James Rink's channel. It's like guided or something like that. But his
Hmm.
channel was kind of the first one to show like the ability, like super soldier topic, um and he was doing those regressions then, with on people. And so I was following along with those. So that kind of that's kind of where I started. That was like in 2014. This one that was kind of opening up a little bit. So I just started researching slowly at a time online with super soldier stuff. Um, yeah.
What of the super soldier aspect resonated with you?
At first, it was more being in battle, being in the battle, like in black suits and stuff, and doing the like running really fast. I would see myself running, and then also like I would see myself jumping out of a helicopter, landing on my feet, and then I was being chased up a mountain, like up a cliff. So I would be running up the cliff, and then I was seeing James Casbolt chasing after me. And my friend Carol, she was my trainer, so I kept seeing that a lot, and that would kind of motivate me a lot too. To when I was exercising, I kept on seeing being chased a lot, and so that kind of is fun for me in that because I can run really fast in those realities, with probably like a suit or something on, and then just being chased, and then so that kind of was I was exploring that kind of topic with what was in my mind of, and then I would see places too. I would see like um when he was describing the places, then I could look into the person's vision too and see what they were talking about. So that was some of them, not all of them. Some of them were resonating with me. So I would begin exploring, like looking around and like being on bases, being like underground bases or on a ship. I would see like being at like a martial arts center, and I just would ask like Ivan Teller. I've been going with Ivan Teller's webinar since around that time I started, so I could get more answers, So I just started every week just asking the questions that would come up, because it would just kind of keep unfolding. And I would see like being in Antarctica, and I saw that I was being like, was like in a team, and then being having to go into a cavern to look for some crystal or some kind of relic in there. And then my partner, he was attacked by a yeti or whatever that was, that monster, And so I saw that, and I was questioning because it felt like real, because I got really emotional about that. So just things, little pictures kept opening up like this, like all the time. They just in there, they don't go together, So it's difficult to really explain it to people who don't even, they just think, what are you talking about? I mean, talking about aliens, talking about psionic super soldiers who can open up portals in the desert and just go through and then be somewhere else, because I see like being on Mars, working at like on like a many brothel places. But I know all this is like the SSP stuff, so and I've had other readings like through Jim Charles with him helping me to piece together some of my memories, and to make like a 20 and back, so that kind of would make sense for me, like from age 5 until like a 20-year term out. But he said that I've had many, like as many as up to 4, probably more than that, of the 20 and back, so, and that's then how we're taken in, like, and cloned out too, and then time traveling. So it just kind of is so many realities that are just pieces of memory. You're muted.
It's weird. I don't remember reading and stuff. Okay. Thank you. So for people out there that aren't super familiar with this, I like to find everyone has a little bit of a different perspective on what they've ventured from this. How do you think this happens, and what it is to people, like the abduction, like how does it work, and what you have gleaned?
How does it happen? I think that like with, I'll just start with like age 5, when you're a little kid being taken, it's going to be like through the grays. So they can stop time, or they can erase, or they can just take you and then put you back in, and then rewind time, or you just sleeping so you wouldn't even know that you're missing. So that's kind of how it starts with a lot of the SSP people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense with that?
Yeah, yeah. So do you, like, from different people, I've read into different ones. So like either it's physically taken once, and then their DNA taken, and then having multiple clones, and then their spirit being forced by located like an avatar into it. And then various forms of temporal dilation of taken and then put back as if you never left. other things with clones or other visitation like astral, higher dimensional, or bilocation. What do you feel or have taken note on? Do you think you're experiencing?
I think it's like the first one, like you said, like being taken one time when I was little for the SSP stuff, but I also know that the other groups like soul family stuff is all the time, but I don't see them. So, but I have like the strong connection with the praying mantis and the grays. So that's kind of separate though. That's separate than the positive. That's the positive to me. And it might not be positive for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't even like alien nothing, they so
Right. I see a lot of every species has negative, neutral, which makes it complicated, especially if people blanket it all as negative. So
yeah,
over 4,000 different lineage races of gray,
yeah,
and a bunch of offshoots of the mantids. Most of the negative ones I find are enslaved by a higher dominating force like the Draco or something.
hmm
So yeah, so you have interaction with that. Do you so you mentioned time travel as well. What do you think? How do you think that works personally for you? And as well, do you experience other timelines, or is it like this same timeline, just different points in it, or both?
it's like how I look at it is like if this was like the grid and like we're right here, and then it's like just traveling through different access points, to go to those places that are set up for for doing the programming stuff, like they have maybe it's a jump gate or something like that in that way. For the But there's also like the time travel with the Montauk. So, because like with Montauk, I remember like sitting in the chair and being like directed to look at a point, on the wall, and then opening up that point and being able to travel through that to wherever they would send me to go. And it was just to do work, like do go and do this psionic assassination. This was when I'm like a little kid, and this is not this physical reality. This is me being taken, in my mind fragmented, so then they can make clones and put them in these different programs and stuff. And so this is one of those times. The I don't think, is Montauk the SSP? I don't
It
I
has
don't know if it
interactions with
is.
it.
Yeah, because I get confused with that because I'm a super soldier in some of those, and then I'm also doing like the honeypots in some of those, So and then they have so that's like the time travel where it's like this is a point, and then this is a point, and then this is a point. So they like a jump gate, in that way.
Can you explain the honeypot thing and brothel thing for people that don't understand what that is?
So the honeypot is when you're little, and then you would be fractured. Your mind is fractured from the satanic ritual abuse, where you would be sexually traumatized as a child, and then so your mind fragments. It splits. So you have all these open spaces where altars can be created in your mind. And so some of these altars are going to be honeypot, like a sex slave or super soldier or whatever they program it to be, and they can erase it and reprogram it, or they can reprogram one altar to many, like a second altar, you know what I mean? So there's many like that. So with the honeypots, say one altar here is going to be set as so my memory is being like 5 years old. And then so George Bush Sr. would do all this programming and doing the torture or saying things that would like phrases, and then be sent to do blackmail work, which would be like going to like these older men or wherever they sent like kids like they do today with like the all the stuff going on today. And then so they're video recorded. And then so that's going to be like the honeypots. And sometimes the kid can give psionic the assassination through psionic abilities. So that would happen as well, just on certain whoever they told me to target, I guess, not all the time. But so that's the honeypot.
And what is the job of a honeypot to do, and who are you targeting?
Okay, so the job is so you're a child, and then you're sent to an adult and to have sex with them, and it's being video recorded. So then that recording is going to be used as blackmail for higher ranking officials or whoever is in charge of that person, that child, is like the owner of the child in the program. Then they go and they make their way, like, with these, say, politicians or so, saying, you're with this kid on video, just like the P. Diddy stuff, you're with this kid on video or underage child on video, and I need to get people out of jail or whatever favors, in that way.
And okay, thank you. And what is your perception on what Montauk is? Because everyone's got like different information on it. So I'd like to get yours.
My experience is Montauk is being taken there, being put in a cage as a child. This is other realities. This isn't this physical. This is me being taken out, my mind split and put into these other clone bodies. As Raylene is one of my alters there. So she's kept in a cage and then brought out, and then the kids are trained to fight each other, battle each other. And then they have to learn to do that, and so their mind's already split when they come in, and then they'll bring in kids from off of the streets, and they're not mind fractured. So I think that they were sending people like those kids and stuff through the portals, through the time travel, and their mind wasn't ready for traveling through the time, through all the gates and stuff like that, because your mind has to be able to, when you're in the chair, they torture you, and then they bring out that altar that can go and do that mission. But if you aren't programmed to do that mission, if you're just regular person off the street, then your mind is you're probably gonna have like an aneurysm or something like that. So I think that's what happened to a lot of those kids who were sent through the portals and stuff, because you have to be ready, you have to stay on focus, and it has to be mostly like an altar, to be able to do the mission too, because you have to do a mission, which is either go and assassinate this person, and that's a mission, and then come back. So it's like missions. It's like a whole bunch of missions you're sent out on all the time.
So so you went into assassination. What are other reasons they do this for in programming kids, and other timelines, this timeline, future, past, whatever? What are they doing that for, or training, or whatever the missions?
Well, I can just tell you from what I was doing, with those, it's more of manipulation of realities to try to control timelines. So like if you're sent out and then to do this to this person here, then it's going to, we can collapse timelines. Like groups of us will go and collapse a timeline too. So it's manipulating time, going through and taking out this person, and then time will change in that whole timeline. So it's manipulating time.
Interesting. Yeah, I agree with that. That's when I'm tracking back the negative timelines that are being created on the planet, And went through a bunch of procedures of doing the easy ones first and then working up to the harder ones. A lot of them were caused by AI, anchoring and looking into the future of positive timelines and getting information from them, and then limiting those people that caused that in the past, while trying to anchor and strengthen the negative ones coming into existence, and anchoring to this one. A lot from anchoring to negative leaders, underground base people, secret cabal members, what they do in actions, and a lot would be created from them. And a lot were coming from Montauk. I was able to glean a big, deep underground military base of many levels, and then multiple species under that. There seems to be a power interacting with time having to do with the tip of Long Island, that they're harvesting upon. And there are also like links in portal or gate or Tesla Vortal tunnel technology or craft or stargates or other things in various places to link to other timelines, alternate timelines and alternate realities, and then harvest off of the resources there, as well as this one and in the past and future, to make a big breakaway civilization network that is making more negative timelines of power and control and influence. So that's what I found. But
Yeah, lots of
yeah,
stuff, huh?
yeah, it's a lot of stolen abuse of authority. So I'm gonna bring up your slides so you can go into them, and I'll like also bring up a question real quick so you can go into that in the chat. And everyone in the chat, feel free to ask questions. How many from Jason H, how many projects does she estimate being recycled into?
Projects. There's so many. There's like, because each one of them is some of them, what we don't get the names of them. You know what I mean? Like that. We're just taken, sent out because we're already programmed to do the work, and it's not like that stuff would be also top secret with that person doing the programming or the person wanting the job, and then contacting the super soldier or who, whatever's going on, to do that. That threw me off. So there's I don't think there's any way to just tell you I've been in like 5 or 10 or 100, because I think that's not even given the job, or the program. And if it is, then it's probably erased of the names of them. To me, it is. Some people can remember names of stuff, but I am a visual person, so I see something and I can remember it through visual. But if you say this is Donald Duck Street, and then I'm like, I just see the character, so I don't know what I'm visual. So if you gave me places of pictures and say, have you been here? Then I can go into the picture and see and look around, and tell you kind of if I resonate with that or not.
Yeah. And also these projects exist on in this timeline, other timelines, and some branch over because they're invading timelines.
Yeah, like I was taken last night, like in my mind, they screen my dreams, so they're giving me something of like, it looks like a honeypots going on in my dream. And then, so I woke up and I was like, I wake up and it's like almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't, like I thought it was early, so,
And
yeah.
I lost time and disorientation. Yeah, and then, like Man in the High Castle show, there's invading timelines, alternate realities that are at war with each other, humans, some other species. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot to cover, a lot to protect against. They seem to be limiting a lot of our psionic potential as well as mind controlling and influencing things. So we need to resolve it. So here, do you see this
Yeah.
image?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Did you want to go into your slide pictures and say
Yeah.
any comments about them? Let me know when you're done with this one. I'll move to the next.
You're gonna show them and just tell me? I mean, just we'll do it that way.
Yeah, yeah. You just say if you want to comment on them.
So this is gonna be in many places here with this with the being in the dungeons and stuff like undergrounds. This is more gonna be like I try to show these images too, and explain it in a way that many people can relate to as well. So this is going to be where you were kept in, I'll say you, as in me, but a lot of people, because I see a lot of people in these. So we're kept in these, in the basement, like jail cells, and it's waiting to be taken out of there. And like the thing that comes to mind first is going to go fight like in a gladiator ring. So they take us out and do the fighting other people, you know, for to death, till one of them, you have to fight for your life. And if you die, then you are regenerated and then put back, you know. So they just kind of do that with, and that's I think that's a lot of trauma too, because they don't erase that, when you, the feeling of when you did get, when you died, you know, when the person took, they just regen you and then put you back, you know. So you have to learn to fight for your life, and then you move on to the next round, or however, you know, what they want to put you in. You pass their test. So this is going to be in one of those places like that. And also it's in a Mothers of Darkness. They have these gel cells, and so there's also a bunch of girls that they have, and guys, kids, in these places. And then we're just in there and we're waiting to be taken upstairs to do like their rituals. That's at the Mothers of Darkness, to where maybe there's a slide on there for the next, if you want to go on to the next one for that. But those Mothers of Darkness is and so this is like in the brothel. This is like a more of a SSP, to where it's like a hotel, you know, and they kind of have this set up, or if it's on like another planet, but it is in the SSP, to where I get anxiety, but I'm okay with talking about it. You know, I'll just get anxiety because it's you know, trauma of being there, because it's going into, you're sent as one of the sex slaves to go in one of the rooms, and then the men usually, I've only seen Hillary Clinton there as one of the ladies, you know, and I've seen some ET races and stuff, but it's usually just men who come in to these places, and they abuse the women till some of them will just leave them in there and they die, you know, and they have to be regenerated when the men leaves. So it's high trauma that happens in those brothels, you know, very abused and sexually and physically abused. Mm.
Let me know when you want next slide.
Yeah, go ahead. You can just sort through. Yeah, this is the same, just another image of being at those places, at the brothel place. So it's kind of like a strip club, you know, what a strip club looks like. And those women just kind of hang out, and then some of them are sent to the rooms, and that happens. But I guess it's just for entertainment for these men who go to these space colonies, and And it's just entertainment, because like this is an entertainment area in that same place. It's just a different section, and there's many of these places throughout the space, the space programs. It's not just like one place only. They have these in underground bases. They have them in different planets. So I think they send, like they send the men and women there, but they send like they send you would like to do either like the work or the like slave work, like out like physical, like manual, like labor, or then you can do this work too, where you're like a sex slave. So
Yeah, it's like bread and circuses, the things that a power structure need to keep the people satiated in their less flourishing lives.
yeah, because it's just the same repeat day over and over, because the girls and stuff, they live there all, in those rooms and stuff too. And some of them like together. And so like as the 20 and back, then like after that 20 years over, then then they just are taken. They I think they know, like we're told, um that this 20 years coming up, I think they're told the mission, like someone probably contacts them. Sometimes I do think that they just wake up in their bed and they thought it was a dream, and it was 20 years that went by in the time you slept. So they can manipulate the time and
Yeah,
just
well,
put you right back. Like if it's a clone, they just, if you're just doing that the whole time, like it's not the whole time you're at this doing the sex slave, because in childhood you would have been used to do your psionic stuff, and then you're sold to another group and to do these things, and then sold to another group to do these kinds of things, so, and then after that's over, whatever term it is, because it's not just 20, there's many, there's many, 56, it could be how many ever, you know.
yeah, yeah, it's made to have a little accountability, slave labor, not pay for anything, minimal expenses, and to where you can't, challenge it.
No,
The
you
evidence
can't.
would show up in altars and the mind and trapped emotions, overwhelming amount of like
Anxiety.
PTSD and things to emotionally somatic release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, PTSD, and fracturing, change personality, increase
Mm-hmm.
in age in mind, and yeah, so there's a lot of things that will eventually be shown in evidence for this. Though I can see the evidence, I categorize it, and it comes up, and I've been able to trigger it in people, which I don't like doing honestly, because it's a little traumatic, and unless they got time to go through it, it's not fun. And I haven't had it itself. I've had like wake up just with tons of emotions just swirling, and then you
Mm-hmm.
close your eyes and visualize into it and feel into what it is and caused by. Um, a lot of compressed time. Some will make you
Mm-hmm.
cry in like loss of life or things you might have done, or things happen to you.
Yeah. People blame themselves too for doing these jobs, and that's not anything you can control. You're programmed to do a certain job, and if you have to go and psionic assassinate someone, or super soldier assassinate them, with weapons, like you're programmed. That's not you doing that. So a lot of people say like how did they that they can't forgive themselves for that, like abusing children and stuff. But these people that are in the programs already and then grow up to be adults and then do the same, abuse to the children, like at Montauk, they had the abuse too, and they're programmed. They have to do that, or they will be punished, or taken out, and or so you can't blame yourself. You can't do that, because if you're in these programs, you're programmed. You've been mind fractured, and you're most likely operating in an altered state when you're doing these jobs. And so that alter is controlled by the person who is doing the programming and the owner of the person. And I know that people switch owners and stuff, you're bought and sold throughout, but they're programmed to do certain task, jobs. So it's not like you could say no. You can't say no. You have no will to do that because it's in an altar. So these guys are at the brothel places that I see. These aren't actual. I didn't actually like take the picture of the people. Like, these are similar energies to the guys. Like, this is gonna be, this here is like a man who goes to like the brothel place, and he becomes obsessed with one of the girls, and then she's gone. Like, she's returned back after like the 20 years, and then so he's wondering where she is and all that, like, so that's something in that way. And these things happen, on the stage, like the seduction, and she's like a siren, kind of hypnotizing everybody there. So
What do you think of the mind controlled altars? I think, what do they call them? Sex kittens altar program?
Yeah.
Or in the Monarch or MK Ultra?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think of all that?
Yeah, that's Monarch programming, that is from the very beginning when you're doing the honeypots. That's the Monarch programming that you're under, with being the sex kitten and having to be so this would be more programmed to be like sexual toward men, and being able to have sex with them at a young age, and then so that's just something that's programmed to be, like the altars, many altars created to satisfy the man, like that's the sex kitten. To pleasure, to whatever he's wanting. So that can also be in this physical reality, like come like a bleed through almost, so you know what I mean? Are you there? What happened? I don't know what happened. Well, hopefully he comes back.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, it's still going. Stream is still going. Sorry, they sometimes take me out for some reason. Okay, back. I'll set it all up. So you're talking about the brothels, so feel free to continue. Or you set it back up. So, but it's still going. The stream's still good.
Yeah. You
Sorry
have to
about that.
restart over because
No, that's good. Our stream's still going. Okay. So So you were saying the brothels, sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll get back on a picture and then I'll be able to talk
Okay,
about it.
again, back up. All right, so yeah, I was asking you about the monarch mind control, and like how they're
It gave me made it hot
for
and
actual,
stuff
how do you work
too.
with them and monarch and sex kid programming? Hmm?
It made me feel hot too, so it's maybe some kind of targeting going on, huh?
Yeah, yeah, we're talking about some subjects, you know how it is. So yeah, how do you think it works?
What was that?
How do you
What was
think
that?
the Monarch, MK Ultra mind control and sex kitten programming works? How does it happen?
So when you're altars, in altars, is that what you mean? Like when you're taken into the SSP
Yeah,
when you're
how do
young,
they make it? Like the altars, I've heard like cages and various things to break
the sex
down
kitten.
person's consciousness.
Okay, so like say with the sex kitten. So this is my memory of being like with George Bush Sr. Like he would keep me. It looked like a abandoned like psych ward, and I was kept in like a room, and then like the wallpaper was all peeling. Um, this is my memory though, and it could be like an insert, but this is how I remember it. And he would come in, and I was the only one in there that I recall. I didn't hear anybody else in there, and this is like at age 5. And this is taken out of time. This is not this physical. This is taken out of time and put into these and sold to him as one of the programs. So this is going to be like a 20 and back. So this is going to be to where he's going into my room and he has like a cattle prod. He's doing like the sexual thing, saying like it feels good. No, this feels good. Like pain feels good. So he would just do that over time and saying things so my mind would split, because of the trauma. He would also encourage you to go someplace else, like to split your mind so you can handle the pain, so the after you're programmed to withstand, they could cattle prod, go up you with the cattle prod, and you think that feels good because that's what you're programmed to think. So and then he would use all kinds of things to do that sexually and bring in, I remember also, seeing, um, it was Michael Aquino really, um, at these
You get a
places.
picture.
Yeah, that's at the brothel places. All the red places is the brothel stuff. So if you want to go onto the white where I draw, so these sex programs is already in my mind of being in another altar, and that is going to be to where pain feels good. So then you're sent out. The kid is sent out to do these honeypots to where the they can the little kid can take a grown man's size, and that doesn't even hurt, or they do whatever and it doesn't hurt them, so that is and then you have the kids are programmed um to know exactly what the man wants, you know it's mostly men in my experience. So, you know like I don't have a memory of being sent to any women. I remember seeing Hillary, but I didn't. She was with other women, so at these brothel places, Hillary lives on one of these places, like in, and I think this is like the it's off planet, and so she lives there, and she just orders women from these brothel places to have parties at her house, and she is like a succubus. So I was seeing that, like I was like a person who had been there for a long time, so I have to go with the girls and make sure that these new girls that she wants that they don't end up where because I was seeing that she opens up her dress and then stuffs the people inside of her, so she was like a succubus or something like that. And then so I had to make sure they all come back, that's her. So this is at the brothel place, taking a man into like the room and then talking. It's just like an escort, like that too. And go on to the next one.
And these are going into memories you had?
Yeah, this is memories of being on those, and so sometimes because they're like soldiers who come in too, who just want to talk, but we're programmed to have sex with them, so they could report us if we didn't. So we're a complete slave to, if anything they say, then that will be they can say she didn't do this and then we would be in trouble.
Do you spy on them and like get information intel or something?
Not this one. This is just like an escort.
Yeah, maybe like not you, but are people that the escorts paid for intel?
In other places I'm sent to do that. Not at the brothel place. The brothel is like being like an escort or a stripper or something in that way. But like with being on a mission, targeting someone, then because I've been sent to many to do that, and it's to have them come to me at these brothel places, other places that are set up though, not this one, but like those hotel places where they would come in and they're sent there from another place, and then I'm recording the whole thing in my mind the whole time and what to say, and I know exactly what they like and everything. So they would come back to me like every week or something like that, and then I would be giving them messages from, like, I was seeing like there's an octopus. It's like an octopus headed. You can go on to the next one. For this one, it's something I don't talk about, this next one here, a lot. These are still the brothel places. All these are, but there's one to where there's like an octopus headed man, and I think it's somebody like in the Orion system that communicates with this octopus, and it's underground, and this is I think it's on Mars, and this is in the SSP. This completely separate from these. These are just girls who are in their sex kitten program here.
Okay.
And the men too,
Oh, okay, yeah, men in program. Yeah, and John's will be the most big customers for the brothel because their sex drives are incredibly bigger, and I found out you don't like science likes to go into, oh, an average male, you have the thought every 7 seconds of sex. That's true, but like that's also, there's a reason for that. There's where the programs are coming from, a lot of entities involved. There's an energy harvesting system, there's succubus.
Yep. Yeah, because it's where this guy,
all these things inherited mixed.
Yeah. Same thing.
Dancers on stage. I'll try to get to where you are. I don't know where you.
I don't know if I
Okay, I think I'm repeating this. Okay, I'll take it off and then it'll go to your other one. Okay. So you said an octopus. Okay,
oh yeah, that was at this. Yeah. So like with the octopus headed man. Okay, so he he has like tentacle kind of things. So I would see that I would be standing in front of him, and then he would grab me with the tentacle, and then so I'm like this size, and then he inserts his tentacle up inside me to give me the program or to take out the program, um so then I would go upstairs, and then the target, whoever they were sending me, is already programmed in my mind of what to do and say to give them the message, and then they give it back, and then I go back after that person leaves, and then does the thing again and takes out the information and gives it to whoever's needed to go to. And that's like top secrets, like I guess they come there and it's a secret, so because nobody sees them, when they come there.
See, okay, can you go into these ones? Those will go do them with whatever.
Yeah, this is like the George Bush. This is when the memory of being taken into the George Bush Senior program, to where that's me with George Bush Senior, and I'm in the like the abandoned psych ward, and it's kind of like the layout of my memory with it, so I'm kept in like a looks like a cell, and then like there's a nurse that bathes and watches and feeds me, but there's nobody else in there that I see. And I think that they used that place though, because other people have said they recall seeing that and being with George Bush Sr. in that place too. So I think that he uses that. It might be like an insert too, So, because so I don't know, but this, all I know is what I see in my mind, and then I just go with that because that's where, you know what I mean? But I don't know where it's at. People say, where is this at? And I have no idea. I'm kept underground, and I don't go out, and I don't go to the store. I just live in this place only. I don't, if I'm taken out, then they take me and put me to go do work like a psionic assassin at these parties, or sex slave for blackmail. And that's the only time I'm taken out of the place.
I think I got the thing up for the right screen share, though it's going back to the other picture, so hopefully this works.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is
Here's what
like
you're
at the,
saying.
yeah. What happened?
Oops, it's back. Okay, go ahead. You see it?
Yeah. So this is going to be just being the, at, being like a sex kitten it can be any place.
Yeah, it's going back to the other pictures. I'm not sure why. And weird. All right, I'll bring up what I can.
I guess because it's not talked about. Maybe that's some reason, but that wants to be talked about more,
Right. Okay, so I got this cage picture here. I'll do that.
because it creates anxiety. So I know it's something that I don't talk about a lot. So this is that Montauk. The cages are like this at Montauk, where we're kept in a room in the cellar, like, and then put in a cage, just like this.
So yeah. Okay. Yep, it just goes back to the other pictures.
Can you go
Okay.
the other way?
I tried, it didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. Facebook doesn't want to go into them. But I can do the first of each. Maybe I can do something else. I'll see. And then I can go into your video that you brought up though, of course.
Oh, okay. That might show those pictures.
Does that video have those pictures in it?
Yeah, I make it.
Okay, okay, cool. I'll just bring that
Some
up
of them.
next. Okay, so here's
I
the
made the
lounge.
video.
I'll bring that. Okay, I'm gonna play that video. Do you want the sound on or not?
I didn't put a sound on it. I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, what do you want to explain this at all?
No, so those are the cards that I draw that I do for people, to help people with their memories. So I use my abilities to ride your energy, to sync with your energy. And then when I'm doing the card pull, then I'll just sync with the energy and then pull the cards for the person that I'm doing the reading for. And then so these are an example of some of the cards, and I draw all of them. I make all of them. So I have like many decks that I've done to help people because I'll do these and then I'll help them with their memories, and then something else comes out of it too. So when
Nice.
when I'm working with them, then we're relaxed and stuff, and then more is opening up. So then I can help them, or if they have questions, then I can look into that as well.
Well, sounds good. Yeah, if you want, we can pull some cards for people in the audience. So in the
Yeah,
audience,
they just need to
what
write their name. That's all. And
yeah,
I'll
write your name in the audience if you want your card pulled for you, and we'll see what comes up for each person.
Mhm.
And I'll read into that in a bit, but feel free to get that ready. Okay, so we got this. Is this the trip
The
chair? What do
mon
you got going
uh-huh.
here?
Yep. The trip chair. Yep.
Okay, I'll just play it.
Montauk. Yep.
Oh yeah, some interesting designs that'll trigger
Yep.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Like in
interesting.
Antarctica.
Yeah, there's a lot of secret stuff in that.
Mhm.
Right back.
That's switching altars. Just an example, of going from one state to another.
The
Mm-hmm.
other one.
That one.
What's this?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
that went by quick.
yeah,
Okay. Let
and then
me try to
this.
freeze it. Okay. Got Montauk chair.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
this is going to be my drawing of many realities here. So this is going to be like the grays, and then the my lab is going like the military abduction is being in those dark castles and those stairs going up to the bedrooms with the men who are at these parties, for like at the dark castles. There's just women that I see that were all lined up, and we're all like younger, like this is alters, like other clone aspects of us in an altered sex kitten state. So we're just standing waiting to be picked by the men, and then whoever picks us, then we go up to the room, wherever their room is, and have sex with them. And then there's also like the jump gates here. So this is like an elevator, where you're put into and then jump to another reality. And then the spaceship there, it's like a chair in there and it spins, like that ride at the fair that spins. But just you're in the center, so everything else spins around, but you're like still, so I don't know what it's doing. And then some alien abduction with the craft over here, with the ETs. Mm-hmm. Underground cloning
Cloning, huh?
facilities. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I after one of the 20 and backs, at the end, then I was taken to Mars to work with George Bush Sr. On his cloning facility on Mars. So I don't know if my aspect is still there or not. I think that she is, because I do a lot of work there for him.
Yeah, what's
This
going
is
on
the
here?
octopus. here it is, that octopus that I was talking about, being programmed. So he takes see how he takes the person, like right here, like me, and then he will insert his tentacle up inside. If it's a man, then it's up his rear, and then given the programming of what the target that you're going upstairs. It's like a sex slave reality here. So it's like that the where you're doing the espionage, where you're going to target a person that's going to be coming to you, and you're giving them the information they need, and then taking it back, and then returning it back to this octopus.
Yeah, there's some positive and negative octopi, whatever it means. Yeah, there's different mythos that will go into this, besides the Cthulhu mythos, the Mind Flayer, the Pirates of the Caribbean thing, the humanoids. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, and also you talked about red rooms, as in like there's a guy that is like, what is it, Project Underground Railroad or whatever, that saves kids from sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
He goes into, there's multiple of these red doors that he's found, places that are inconspicuous. You wouldn't think they're anything, and they might be a broom closet or something. And they just go down into a dungeon and tunnel system, and just a torture sex dungeon, whatever. And they house kids, and it's awful. And they're rooms with no hope. And they go into that. And also some movies went into this with different programming. Like one I remember recently is what is it? Black Widow, she remembers a red room that they would be taken to program her to being one of an ultimate assassin. So yeah, it was
just like with the P. Diddy stuff, or Hugh Hefner stuff, or all of them that are coming out now. They all have these rooms where they're hidden away, like in a dungeon, and then they keep those girls and boys, for parties, and the worst abuse happens to them, and then they're put back down there in those chains like that, and then just starved and beaten, and they're just like almost not alive anymore, and then they're taken up there, and it's just like just the worst abuse ever. So this is like this is those places like that are at Montauk Chair, the green goo stuff, the red room stuff is gonna be like being put, like all of it will be a memory of not on Montauk, but an underground basis,
Okay.
or being in a cloning facility and stuff.
Thank you. Okay, I'll see if I can go through the other pictures while talking to you. So, what do you do for healing these type of traumas for people out there that want to also heal their traumas? What have you done for it?
I like to do my cards here. It helps me so it's not so one-on-one like this kind of is. Sometimes it's easier to find another tool like this to kind of help open people up, so the focus isn't just on you telling me what's wrong. It's like, let's look at these and see if any of these resonate, and and then that allows me to sync with their energy, and they kind of already tell me some of the things they want to look at too, they need help with. So So when I'm doing this, then it's also Reiki infused. So all my cards, they have like the symbols and stuff like that, but they're going to be like, I've done this and it's coming from like a channeled state when I'm doing all my cards, when I'm drawing them, so they all have different messages on them for, uh, you know, sometimes I'll draw like this many cards in one setting, and then I can't even draw hardly anything the next day. So I know they're channeled, from my higher self. So that's what I do.
Thank you. Okay, I'll look for if anyone wants to do the cards again. If you want the cards and put your name, say you want the cards and put your name, full name in. And do you need anything else from that? Oh, like what do you want to be read for? And maybe we can go into that. And that's just okay. I'm looking for the questions as well. Nice, a lot of comments, good stuff. Okay,
Okay.
so
I haven't seen them.
Can you go into your animal Reiki while you're talking about that? Well,
Like with the
reading these,
horses and stuff, or
looking for the questions.
like with the animal
Yeah.
Reiki and
Tell us
stuff.
about that.
Because my kitty too, she came up on the property last year, and she was really sick, and she was like a year old, but she just had like some kind of a bump on her, and I feel like she was, because the whole neighborhood got a black cat at that time, so it's like some kind of like a landing of them or something is what I think, like I think that she's kind of alien in a way, or maybe something like that. But we took her to the doctor, and she had like a blood disease. And so I do Reiki on her. And so with the Reiki, how I do it is like, it's just she lays there, and I just um scan her body and find where there's any kind of density or disruption in the energy, and then just point like my finger, and then until it's clear, and they just lay there. The animals do. They don't say, what the hell are you doing to me, or whatever, they don't judge nothing. So that's why I like doing it on animals. And I can do it distant too, so I just need like the picture and mostly like their eyes and stuff too, and then the owner's permission to do that. But so my cat last night, then she's laying, and then I say the Reiki symbols in my mind, and hold a bubble over her, create a big bubble, and then just kind of either swish it like this, like move out the density, or pick it out too, if there needs to be picked out, or whatever needs to be done, then I'll just do that, and until she's clear, and I create like her in a bubble, and then I create all the animals in a bubble. So I just do all kinds of stuff like that. Or doing brushing, I'll brush the animals, and then they just relax right into yawning. They'll yawn and just lay down and just go to sleep,
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got some people that want to do the card thing. So yeah, I'll read into them. So we got here. Yeah, you can start Joanne Corso. And yeah, just pick a card for her, and we
Okay.
can go a little into it, and then I'll read out the others. People seem to be interested, so we can get through those. That seems to be
The
um
cards.
yeah. People
This is
want.
just like, because I have so many cards, so usually I take an hour to do the whole reading with the person, and they can find it on my YouTube channel or on Facebook. Contact me, and I charge $44 to do a reading with them, and we're face to face like this, and I'll just tune into them and pull as many cards as it comes out,
Okay. Yeah, go for
so
it. So yeah, I'll read off the name again, and yeah, we got a few
Joanne
names. So yeah,
Joanne first.
sure.
Joanne. So I'll pull 3 cards. Usually one just doesn't want, one's too brief. So here's Joanne.
Solar Warden Experiencer. Interesting. Okay, I'll bring up the next name too.
And here, this is Joanne still. 3 cards.
Okay.
And then Joanne still. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, next one, Ryan Eichmann.
Ryan. Orion.
Childhood abduction by the mantis.
Ryan's still here.
You miss him and her. Interesting.
See, some of them are just like that kind of a message. So I have 2 more here. Oh, some more. Whatever comes out is what I.
Ooh, deep underground military bases, huh? Nice. Okay. Okay, I'll bring up the next one.
This still Ryan. And Ryan still. See that this what comes out. Sometimes it's not just one.
It's just transferred.
Yep. Okay. I'm ready for the next.
Okay, next person, James Whitacus.
James.
Yeah, James Whitacus. Yeah, we got quite a few. So yeah, just 3, and then we'll get through everyone. Ooh, what do you think that is?
Kind of looks like a
tower.
space colony, huh? Like maybe something.
Interesting.
2.
Mantis.
And
The alien DNA injection. Oh, look forward to that. What you got injected with. Yeah. Okay, next one we got is Tracy of Quantum Tracy 777. Nice cards.
I did all the artwork.
Some codes.
2.
Anticodes.
And dragonfly.
And
okay.
Next one is Chrissy, Roxy Girl.
What's the first name? What's her name? What's the name?
Christy.
Christy?
The same as you with a K,
Christy.
but with a K. Then we have a question. Who are the triangle head beings? Ooh, be present.
1, 2.
Quest Palladian DNA infusion. Interesting.
Yeah, from your guides. Usually from your guides. The triangle head beings are in the SSP. That's what I learned from them. It's from seeing them on the SSP stuff. That's like the solar warden and stuff, isn't it? I draw them quite a bit. They're kind of like the mantis energy in a way, like the spiritual. They're the higher dimensional.
What, the triangle beings?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's from 100 years from now. Yeah, whatever you want to say about them. Okay. And they live once a card, but hey, they live, add your name if that'll help her.
I'll just do they live then. They live. They live.
Interesting head on that one.
Okay.
Okay, next one we got is Blenda. Yeah, sorry if I pronounced this wrong. Belindia S. Okay.
India. India. One.
Nice. And then we'll do a card after we get through all these guys for anything specific, so we can get a little bit more of your reading
2.
involved in it too. Ooh,
3. Okay.
thank you. Okay, and let's see if we can get I catch up on all the comments. Okay, Rhonda of Warrior for Truth card, please.
Mhm.
So we got Rhonda. All right. Witch sisters. Ooh, I wonder what that means.
Psionic powers, you know.
Cool. We got spider bite. And it's Shelly for spider.
Mm. So here's spider bite.
Catching up. Ooh, saving children the astral. I would agree with that. Yeah, I love the codes. Download into the mind. Unlock stuff.
Yeah, I do that in a really fast state, you know, like it just.
Nice. Okay, and we got Willow Williams. Yeah, great energy on these cards. Syrian aquatic beings. Ooh. Set boundaries. That's good advice.
Okay.
Okay, next one is Jason H.
Okay.
Welcome back, Jason.
Psychic spy.
Ooh, psychic spy.
Could be this way too.
I gotta do my draws of Cards Against Humanity for everyone. People love that one. Ooh, wow, that's beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, and then what we got? We got a question. What is what is Solar Warden Experiencer?
What do you think those
Join
solar
in.
warden is? That's in the SSP. Solar warden is like the policing in space. Is that how you recall it? It's like policing, like super soldiers that are kind of policing.
If I remember correctly, it's one of the names of the projects for maybe the USS, or an offshoot of a program having to do with the US, with a range split in the solar system of closer to the sun, ships that monitor and police. And then Radiant Guardian is the one that's the half of the solar system away from the sun.
And it's all kind of German connected.
I think
they're
the
all German?
Germans have the Nockwaffen,
Mm-hmm.
the Kruger Dark Fleet, and a few others, because they've been around longer and they got more time travel stuff going
Yeah.
on.
And they work with the Draco. Don't they all work with the Draco?
Some of the factions for sure. I barely, they're so all over the place. So I don't, monitoring the SSP in a given time, it's kind of fluctuating, and it's not set in stone because it's in the background, like a quantum wave collapse field could collapse at any time into a different state of reality for those that observe it or not observe it because it's not in observation. But that the eventual goal is to get it to a better state of being, less slavery. And for those that somebody asked if the slave trade was there since Lemuria, I would say there are species that have always been engaged in a slave trade that are older than the Earth. Some have been interacting with the Earth since then, but Earth was fairly fortressed by light beings in the beginning, and then big catastrophes happened, and the guardians and founders, a lot of them went away, and they're purposely camouflaging what happened to them, so that's why I say that vaguely. Then especially at the fall of Atlantis, the big one, a lot more slave trade came in with a lot more corruption.
Right.
And before that, I'd say the next biggest time was the Anunnaki coming here, and then before that, the next biggest time was the fall of Lemuria. There's all kinds of stuff.
But there's dimensions too, because it's like fallen dimensions. So each time, then man becomes more dense and then easier to control.
Thank you, Willow. Please hit me up. Feel free. Let's see, and feel free, guys, to ask more questions. And so here, let's go into like a reading for each other.
Okay.
I'll read you something with my mind because I don't have my cards with me, but feel free to ask me whatever you'd like, and I'll give you a cool reading. And then since I'm about to have a bunch of people on that do telekinesis shows. So I'm like refreshing my ability into telekinesis again because it's like highly targeted, and if you put it down for a while, it gets drained from you and it loses power. It's really annoying.
What are we gonna do? Am I doing cards or am I doing
do you
something
want
else?
to, can you do cards for me for amplifying telekinesis? And this can help other people out there looking for that because I think they'll find that interesting. And then feel free to ask me anything you want, and I'll go into a reading for you. I don't have my cards, but I can just go into it, and then you can advertise it. So yeah, draw me some for amplifying telekinesis.
That must have wanted to come out, huh? That sneeze.
Yeah, the timeline shifts, sneeze, yeah.
Moving the energy. Okay, Sean. I mean, you already are lit up. So this is just gonna be.
Yeah, just amplifying. Yeah, I got a mystery school I got going on with it.
You like a Buddha,
Oh, thank you.
How I was seeing you like as that. Remember when I saw you in the diamond? Remember when you did the guided meditation on Rob's show, and I seen you sitting on the rock, like you was like a Jesus, like that. Not him, but that type of energy where you're calm and compassionate, and you just heal as soon as, like when someone touches your hands, then their their stuff is revealed to them to look at. You don't, you just reveal their pain and trauma to them. You know, so they can go into that water, the diamond water. Remember how you were saying the water and it had like diamonds or jewels in it, and then that healed them, you know. So
I appreciate
you
that.
did a lot of the healing there. I think you just are like a reflector to them of what they need to look at within themselves, you know, like that. So here's for you.
Interesting. Fat people.
I think this is going to be in Egypt. The Basset, the black cat. Star family. Set boundaries. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I have a lot of grays that visit me. A lot of visions and them actually showing up, and dreams and waking up and after interacting with them.
What's that say? Smile at people.
Smile at people.
Sometimes things come to me too when I'm doing it, you know, for myself. So I figure maybe it's for reflection. Hey, that's what you are.
Yeah. Aquarius says fuck. Is that AF?
I love Aquarius.
Birds communicate. Okay, yeah, they do.
The raven and the eagle and the hawk. Yeah, you have a connection with the hawk. That's like Egyptian. Think for yourself what you do. Aquarians do. Oh, what's that?
Oh, God.
I think this is praying mantis writing. Do you think that's praying mantis or gray?
I'll take your word for it. I don't really
comes out really fast.
When I visit ETs, I don't like, hey, write for me and show me your handwriting.
Maybe some space colony there. That maybe like a ship that's shaped like that. The
I
ship.
have asked the ET to give me their phone number and they gave it to me, and I just wake up and there's nothing there. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
You forget it's a dream. Hybrid ET. Nice.
Do you know that already about the children?
Yeah.
You're an inventor. UFO base in the ocean? Do you recall going there?
A few. I'll look back into that. DNA upgrade. Yeah, feel free to ask me. Yeah, I've had astral experience for that.
I think you do.
Yeah, feel free to ask me something that you'd like me to read into.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Jackpot. You're the jackpot.
With cards, you can
you should
always
speak your
show the
truth.
universe something to go into. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's the cards.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't
Okay, I'll
know.
go
I
back
mean,
to-
you could do like, but any questions with that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Give me.
sure. I'll go back to the questions and look for those, but feel free to ask me something. That'll give me some time to tune into it. And anything you want to know or go into or amplify?
Yeah, I really want like my like because of the depression energy and stuff, that to kind of, I need to release all of that. The from being like the letdown of searching for my son for the group home and then finding one. So the ups and downs of that. So I'm trying to think more positive, and with the clearing, the like clearing out the density is what I want.
Okay, so what negative emotions do you find yourself feeling like the most often and in list
Most
from least?
most likely it's going to be like sleeping a lot, depression, slow, dense energy, think not so much thinking, but it's like no energy, feeling tired. That's the most.
May I tune to you?
Hmm?
May I tune into you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Um, ooh, wow, okay, so.
It's cut.
Okay,
It's
yeah, I'll
breaking up.
first start with the depression.
Okay.
And, oh, oh, you can't hear me? Oh, yeah, the
Oh, it
internet.
was
Ooh,
choppy.
interesting. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll start with the depression. You got an interesting one for it.
It's not letting me hear you. You're frozen.
Next level of the one.
It's froze up.
Okay. Um, okay, somebody, I froze up again?
Yeah.
God. Okay, let me fix the camera. But here's a question for Joanne Corso. What do I need to work on to be free? So go ahead and answer her, and I'll tune into your depression stuff.
To be free, you want a card? I can just like with a
Sure, sure.
card.
Love a card,
Yeah.
and feel free to go into it more in depth.
Well, I'm trying to be free too, so let's listen to what Sean says. Maybe that will help her too, since you just asked that, Because I
Sure.
think a lot of
I'll
people
comment
feel
on it after you.
this way, like density and stuff, the dense energy.
Mhm.
To be free. That's what I'm searching for too, is to release all of the things that um put yourself first, then in that way. Because like for me, I've always had my son on the front burner of the stove. I always kept myself on the back burner and did everything for him, so now he's going into the group home, and now I'm working on my own freedom for doing the things that I enjoy doing most. So that's do the things that you enjoy doing, that are your natural like gifts and stuff that you when you can, and that will give you your sense of freedom within yourself, not like, I don't know, I'm on that path too. So here's the cards I got for you. Eagle Spirit.
Race, hard work, understanding, completion of test, personal power.
So you might call on the eagles. Oh, maybe this is the problem with a lot of us, we're stuck in these programs and trying to get free of the programs. That's what I don't have the answer, because I'm still searching for that too. I just tried to do the healing work on myself, and then that will it's like going through layers of stuff and talking about it. And if you want to do your artwork, if you have artwork or whatever your creativity is, channel that stuff into that. So sometimes that frees it up, or take a healing class, or those kinds of things help. So I don't know. I think a lot of people are working on that.
Freedom is very powerful. More people should pursue it more.
Flying like a bird, like an eagle. So that's freedom. So she could visualize that as well. She could visualize herself like in meditation, flying like an eagle. That will give her a sense of freedom.
Interesting. Okay, I'm looking at yours pretty, yeah, so I'll go, yeah, okay, for freedom for her. So has to do with lightness of the upward spiral ascending, letting go of all the weights that hold her down like a hot air balloon. Heaviness, so it's like a freedom of aspect of yourself, freedom of emotion, perception, senses, external imprint, attachment. A lot of it can be boiled down to attachment, so it's increasing detachment. Loving detachment meditation. There's different ways to do that. I can also help you with that more. There's all these kinds of programs that are added to us to bog us down.
Oh, yeah.
Binding, prisons, energy harvesting. So it would be your mind, body, spirit, emotions, and soul and ego. A lot in the ego is compressed in the shadow. That's like 90% in the ego. So it'd be like freeing the ego as well as yourself from the ego, because it's a container for all that external things, so that you keep your soul more to survive.
Yep.
Then a lot of it's like being able to define and write down what is keeping you from being free. Physical action, life, spirit, and then define it all, and then define what's the opposite, and then bridge yourself to get there. So that because there's a lot of aspects of freedom, like ultimate freedom, I would say there's a lot, being able to go anywhere. So it's like spatial, tech mystery school to the advanced, like you could be able to teleport. That's like super freedom. Be able to fly places. That's freedom.
Yep.
It's having a spaceship. Yeah. So, that kind of.
She could visualize herself like I was seeing that during meditation, if you just visualize yourself jumping off of a cliff as an eagle, like you're an eagle or hawk or whatever bird you want to be, and just feeling what it feels like to just soar in the wind, and just allowing yourself to just soar in the wind, and then that feels free. And you could also say, like, I release all attachments when you're doing that. Yeah.
This says,
What you got for me?
I'm looking at where all your depression is being stored. So depression, sadness, sorrow, suicide, all that. It's all like a spectrum of types of intensity of yin emotion, of like a collapsing black hole, sucks away and absorbs energy from the body system. So here's some evidence for you. So your sadness, depression, etc., is being stored in 5 organs. Well, it's in 12 places in total, which again, not that many people have that much. So there's more going into like evidence for you of like things happening to you. So yeah, you got a lot of emotional somatic releases you're gonna get through. So your heart has it, lungs, liver, your thymus and stomach. Interestingly, the places that are most storing them is your well, I'll name that at last. So you also have your soul, which is in your solar plexus, your emotional body center, which is in your sacral, in the gut brain. Your divine body, for some reason, is taking on like a bunch of wounds. That centers in the heart, which also not everyone has a divine body, so congratulations. But it's
They
also
don't.
got to be built up and all the pieces that are stolen brought back together and healed and brought to wholeness. So congratulations on whatever that means and where you ever earned that, which is going back to past lives that I'm not going to talk about, but you can go into it. I'm not going to talk about publicly. You have a telepathic body that's anchored mainly in the throat. And that's taken on some wounds and sadness, so that seems to also have been messed with a bit. And you have an inner vision technology that has some sadness on it. The last two are the most, besides the soul, the ego and the altars. So they're both kind of branching off each other. So the soul branches off the conscious mind, branches off the ego, branches off altars. So the ego and the altars have the most. And most of the ones in the ego are also altars. It's just compressed in itself. So there's some evidence for you that you have altars. And you can then read into them and what to do with them, but as you're integrating them, they're gonna have a bunch of sadness and they're not gonna come out until you're ready to handle, transmute, or art of letting go all the sadness and turn it into something positive. Because it is, all this, people don't like negative emotions, but they're valuable if you can turn them into fertilizer for your garden patch. And not want to kill yourself, because the ego holds on to it because it believes if it lets it go when you're not ready, that you might want to kill yourself or harm others if it's like a explosive rage type thing. So yeah,
What do you
and I'd
recommend?
recommend healing those organs and those places. So the major amount that I'm talking about is in the solar plexus. That's where the ego and the altar center. The emotional body, anytime you're overwhelmed with sadness, heal the emotional body in the gut brain, near a little bit below the belly button. And you want to take care of those organs, the heart, lungs, liver, stomach, and thymus. Yeah. And your telepathic body, your vision, and in your heart. So a lot of these repeat, and the divine bodies in the heart. And limited down to the altars and the ego being the last bits, and the emotional body. So the solar plexus and the sacral will be the last things you will have a lot to take care of with that one. And then those will come with visions and memories and cool stuff as you're going through the emotional releases. Some of the stuff, if you go through trauma with abduction, you can put enough energy to send back in time to prevent abductions or make the timeline better as well. So don't feel like you have to succumb to anything that's going on with you. But some of the things your higher self will be like, oh, okay, that's worth it. I'll learn some abilities. But also you have to put enough energy to stop the vicious ones that don't have any benefit to you. But yeah, you're gonna be like holding them front and back with your hands, focusing on them, giving them love, smiling to them, getting them brighter, filling them with love, giving them what the nourishment they need, love, to heal and bring back to their purest, greatest state of being. And transmuting the negative emotions in, because that's the way the body communicates that there's something wrong. And when you resolve an organ enough, you'll start feeling bliss coming out of it, and the opposite of that emotion, the negative emotion. It'll feel a lot better. And close your eyes while doing it and go into vision. You can see what it means, where it's coming from. If it's just dumped on you, or if it's from an event,
Yeah, I
it's
think
from
so.
this regular timeline or other things. And
Yeah,
then you can start
probably all
taking
of
note
the
on all
above.
those.
Probably all of
Yeah.
the above.
Oh yeah, the altars don't. Those aren't made easily at all. So you can definitely, when you go through those,
What do you
you'll
see
get a
with the
lot of interest in
altars?
it.
Like, do you see how many altars, or do you just see altars in?
Are you okay with me saying something that might trigger you into a bunch of sadness?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure?
I guess we'll find
Be
out.
careful about that. Because I've done that with people and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they don't have a great experience afterwards. And sometimes they blame me and it's like, why'd you do that? I was like, fuck,
No,
I don't
I
want
don't.
to do it. Okay,
Yeah.
if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
I'll also read what's a smart one to do and not like something that will make you cry
Cause
for 2 weeks or something.
yeah, cause
What'd you say?
I'm looking to unlock it, cause it seems like it's just stagnant, so I don't know a way out of it. You know what I mean? You say to hold it like this, but I do, and then I need
Yeah.
a unlocking.
So, emotional somatic releases, I've made these happen just like when I'm healing people and they just like come up and they start crying. It's like, ah. So this is a thing that happens. There's not that many people that know how to trigger them on command. I kind of do, but I don't expect them to. I don't need them to. I don't recommend people like have like a gotta do this now. But I found out the ways that trigger. So you have to make the body feel super safe in a trusting
Hmm.
space where the energy that will be released is safe to release, can be turned into things not can be abused, not things infiltrate or steal during a demons are gone, it's a loving space. Um, as well, your body and ability to protect yourself is ready, or also release of pain is a big one.
Yeah.
So your pain body is like the layers of an onion. So I
Hmm.
found out if you release the outer layers of the onion, the inner cores will be okay, we're ready to come out. And
Yeah.
then they'll come
Right.
out with emotional pain, or various things that will come up. So there's things you can cheat that with, like with acupuncture, acupressure, massage,
Hmm. Don't know.
lymphatic
Reiki.
drainage, myofascia. A lot of massages do them. Yeah, Reiki. You can whatever you can do to get rid of the outer layer of the pain. And then if you do enough of it, it will initiate, but it usually doesn't initiate just instantly. It will wait until a good time, which might be the next morning or something. Yeah, so there's that. But you're gonna have to go through a lot of that. You got a lot of layers of stuff to release. The cool thing is that you can transmute it into stuff. So you can, with all that you have, you could eventually transmute it into like a billion different things, like all the positive motions, healing energy, anything for the sacral, dream energy, creative force, all that stuff. That
Yeah.
sadness, it'll start with the sacral stuff you could transform into, and it'll branch outward. I transform into power. I work out. If I feel
Yeah.
sad, I just play sad music and then I get it just right so it doesn't
No,
like
no.
succumb to me and make me want to just lay in
Yeah.
bed and drain
Yeah.
me of energy. I make it so that it can turn into power.
Oh, okay.
Um, which is not easy for everyone, for
Turn it
everywhere
into
to get
power,
to.
just like exercising or something.
Yeah, you can turn any negative emotion into fuel
Hmm.
eventually. Okay, so there's that, and so yeah, for you, whatever you can even get one of those needle mats or acupuncture mats and lay on it for a bit. That's a really good sheet for me if I
Hmm.
want to have a smack release. And just don't forget that sometimes you'll wake up in the morning and feel super depressed, like I don't want to do this, sucks. Life. And just remember it's emotional smack release. You're strong enough now
Yeah.
to release it. It's gonna suck in the moment, but it
Yeah.
doesn't last forever. It's the law of
Yep.
seasons. It doesn't
Hmm.
last forever. You just get it all out. You try a bunch of different cool things. You can even listen to sad
Exercising.
music, listen to watch a movie that's sad to
Hmm. Yeah.
burst out like emitting like a high level of cold hot showers, all kinds
Oh,
of
okay.
things. Yeah, you can exercise, but a lot of people don't want to when they're doing it. So you kind of want to build up for it and balance it with a bliss generator in your heart and kind of like fall in love with the sadness like it's a beauty sadness.
Hmm.
There's a lot to it. I had years of just waking up every day just sad and sucks and then just having to master it until I became like a god of sadness, which is not fun. but it's like redistributing sadness away from the people that don't deserve it. Like a lot of suicide predators are annoying, and then getting it off them, and then getting it back onto the people that like it generated for as punishment, and keeping them from putting it on other people. Yeah, and then you can turn some of it into things and build up a whole structure, and it like goes back to like cores of evil and wherever some of the older, darker versions of it are, and there, and if it's generated in you, again, it's a lesson, something wrong. It fills the cracks in the things that you could insecurity of your life, and like you can reflect on that. But a lot of times it will just fuck with your life and just like, oh, it sucks, yeah. So and then you like those are little things compared to like how beautiful life can be. So, but you know, there's purposes. Okay. So anyway, so I'll just go through the rest of the questions, and then I'll have you plug your stuff.
Was that the altar?
Oh yeah, you wanted me to go in the altar. Thanks for reminding me.
You don't want to.
Okay. Okay. One that will. Yeah, there's like a warning on it all. So yeah, again, remember your warning.
Well, if there's a warning on
Trigger.
it, then go to a different one then. Because
A
I don't know
lot
what
of them
that
have
warning is.
warnings.
What is the warning?
I'll rate them. I'll give you a warning. Will be it will cause you a bunch of sadness and emotional with somatic release.
Okay.
Is the lower level ones. So I'll go to the lower level ones.
What is the warning on there for? So I don't open the altar?
One of them, though, I'm not going to name this. I'm not going to name that one. But one of them is like 50% of your emotional somatic releases. So you eventually want to work up to that one. Okay, so this one is like, yeah, it wants me to do like that's the ones that are like 1% of the.
Will you call in my praying mantis guide and my tall gray guide to
Sure, if you
be with
want.
you? Yeah.
Thanks.
Say help me.
Okay, so anyway, so you got like a ball of sadness this side. Okay, so it's all compressed in the body. I measure it as if it was allowed outside the body in atmospheric pressure. How big would it be? It's huge. It goes bigger. Well, it's not. So it goes bigger than the source of all in that it like the source of all eventually repeats in like the we're like the smaller than the atoms of a bigger macrocosmic being, and then eventually it repeats to another universe and up, and then another macrocosmic being that we're in a body of, and then it keeps going, and there's a lot of those type of repeats. It goes up to 3 repeats, which is not normal. So
Why is this? What the
I'm
hell?
not allowed to say yet. So we can go into it later, but you got to have a bunch of tools for you to take care of all that sadness. Otherwise, you might want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, one that I can talk about. Just let me know if you get really sad afterwards, and I can help you through.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going here. It's going into the altars. Age 9. It's going into negative ETs. Someone's trying to stop me and choke me while I'm looking at this. Yeah, where are you? Whoops. Period.
What do you see?
You're being taken to Orion.
Is that octopus being?
Me to see. how it works? No.
With the
It's
grays.
like a humanoid reptoid hybrid species. And again, you can challenge this by sending energy back in time to uncreate it eventually. You just might have to do a bunch of things.
If you describe
And
what
learn
it
some
is,
abilities.
if you describe
One
what it is,
second.
then I'll be able to
Sure.
see it and then also
It's just
counter.
really trying to stop me. 1 second. How you go? Okay, so branch off. Yeah. Let me just get the whole equation for this so it makes sense. Okay. So after that H5 thing where you got DNA taken and then they made a bunch of clones for you. So this is where it's an operation at age, not at your age when you're 9.
My age.
One where they take your consciousness, put it into one of those clones they made. You're taken to, you know, 1, 2, anything else? Yeah, you're sold as a slave. They go to Orion. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a lot that goes on with this. It's pretty brutal. So it involves like sex slavery, but also being killed a lot and then being
regenerated. Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, like a lot.
Yeah.
And this why?
It's just because I know. I already know.
It's like
They just do it.
torture, it's like energy harvesting,
Yeah.
it's to fracture you, to steal stuff from you. It's like they're mostly going after your soul and your spirit, and they're trying to break it so they can steal parts off of it. Otherwise, they can't take parts, and they keep trying to break it down. And they're trying to force more of your consciousness into the body that's there. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, they're dumping a lot of sadness on you, negative emotions. There's different ways of torture. So these are one of those things that you want to uncreate.
Yeah.
You can,
Okay.
if you put enough energy into it, go back in time and prevent them from doing it and becoming aware of you.
I'm doing it as you're talking, so I'm doing it as you're telling.
So imagine a bunch of these kind of things. They steal from you, it suppresses you in this timeline, and they're trying to harvest energy off you. So that's the kind of thing I see on people when they have as much sadness as you. It's unfortunate, but I can help you get rid of that kind of thing.
So if it was like a computer chip or so, something like that, like a sadness programming. So it's like a sadness programming. It's not my own. It's not mine. It's something else that's put in me to keep me at a lower vibration so they can steal my soul fragment. So they're trying to pull me out of this body to be in that so they can steal my energy in that. Is that what they're doing?
So there are ways that they do that. Like I'll see machines used at Montauk or other altar making projects where they'll have scanned in a very scientific way a trauma victim, and they'll imprint programming from that onto a person.
Mm.
Sometimes they'll even put parts of the soul of that individual that was killed into the person. So
Okay.
like sadness dumps onto the person. But I don't see that with you. At least this one. So don't you can look for that later. But this one, it's where they are abusing you, and all the negative stuff they would be gaining through punishment naturally in natural law, they're dumping onto you,
Mm-hmm.
such as sadness, illness, it's
Just all
a
negative.
lot of negative
Yeah.
emotion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of, so you want to revoke those.
Yeah.
So there'll be things like that, though that's if you even if you resolved a bunch of those, that's still 1%. So then it's like, oh, what is those other big ones? I'll look into that later.
Yeah. Let's just do one at a time so I can resolve
Yeah,
it. Because it's
exactly.
the onion. I have to work through
Right.
it. I can't just like it all be gone anyway. I'd be overwhelmed, you know? So, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so thank you for bringing that up, and for out there, so that this could be a healing for people so they can stop a lot of this kind of thing. Yeah, and let's see here. Okay, so how can people reach you? What are ways people can contact you?
They can find me on Facebook, on my messenger. My email is christy.campbell.11@gmail.com. And then my YouTube is Christy Campbell CC33. And then I'm also on TikTok as well. So any of those places you can message me if you want a reading. And I charge the $44 to go into those. And so I speak from being an experiencer and everything too. So my goal is to try to help with my own visions and memories of things that I've been through, and just to help others to heal with my abilities here. So,
Thank you for doing that.
yeah, as you can see, I also am working through my own stuff. So, there's not perfection, but it is a healing journey here as well. So, yeah. So I think that I
Hmm.
do I
Oh,
do.
and yeah,
Hmm? What is it?
sorry, there was a delay. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, like with my cards and stuff, I think these are channeled from my higher self and higher aspects. And also when I'm watching some of these videos of the programs, then I'll also put that in here to help hopefully not trigger in a bad way, but help people remember maybe some of the things, or maybe help them research some of the programs as well. Or the ETs or light language, it's all different. Yeah.
And you're on Facebook. What are your other social medias, and do you have a website or anything like that?
No, I don't have a website. I just have the Facebook.
And do you have you planning any like books or events in the future?
Yeah, I'm wanting to do a book over my drawings, and I say drawing and drawings and the programs. So several books, but I just had to have some free time to do that. And I do plan on going to the conference, the disclosure conference that
Oh,
went to
yeah, I'll
last
meet
year.
you
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. And before I forget, what are some abilities that you've interacted with, developed, or came across or witnessed in your interaction with these things, just for those that since my channel's a SionicLeague.
Like in this reality or in my mind? Because in my mind it's different, completely different. Because
Yeah,
like in
bring
my
whatever
vision,
you want.
in my memories and stuff, then I'm able to do a lot of things, like my psionic abilities are more, well, now I know what is asking with that, so I live in Oklahoma where it's Tornado Alley, there's tornadoes all the, and so how I turned anxiety from the tornadoes into being able to stand outside and not have any fear of even being taken up in a tornado. So I started with the Reiki and everything. I'll go outside and I'll feel that the tornado is coming. There's a warning like it's coming into my area. And then I'll go outside and I'll project my consciousness up into the clouds. And then I will just feel where the energy is, where the clouds or where the whole thing is, and talk to it. And then just slowly kind of move it wherever, if it needs to be cold or hot or all frozen or broken apart. And I'll just do that slowly, like cut it apart or push it, whatever needs to be done, like so it just completely shatters apart. And then I'll just sit up in the clouds and just monitor it and just stay outside. But I love the air element. So I just love how it feels like swirling me up anyways, like a tornado. So I don't have any fear of that. So that's how I overcame the fears of tornadoes. People think, oh my God, a tornado's coming, take cover. But I don't. I just go outside and I face it and I talk to it, and it dissipates every single time. Every time. Yeah. So I love to do that. So I live here, so I just channel the elements in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll help people. I have dreams about that. I did that with the hurricane with a group.
Yeah, I can do that.
We'll
I
be
can brace it.
dissipating,
Yeah. If you
and
give
I
me a
think,
target to tune into like that, like I can do it I like to work by myself, because because there's no manipulation of other people's
mm,
thoughts of doubts or whatever. I just go and do it myself, So yeah. So like with that
nice.
hurricane, I made myself like a ball, not myself, but I made a ball I put it all into a ball, the hurricane, and then I just blew it apart, So that
Nice,
it
nice.
helps everybody. It helps the whole collective doing their work too, but I just do it really fast. It doesn't take me a whole day of meditating. I just do it really fast. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I dream of that for the future, where I might actually do that as a show where monitor a bunch of the hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and other things that are going around the planet. Weather
Oh,
news. This is going on here. Here's some opportunity to train your abilities,
yeah. You know what I see
and
in my
this
mind just
let's
now?
all just together, and you get this reward.
Yeah. I'm seeing a vision of the place that you're talking about, of the Orion place. This is a vision that might help a lot of people too, with the programming and stuff. I see like kids in an assembly line, like they're standing and they're kind of like out of it, and they're just they're standing and they're going down the assembly line, and then like a thing is coming down and sucking out their soul out of their head, and then they become like a vacant, like their whole body just collapses, and then that there's like a vacuum thing that sucks out the blood and this all the skin suit and stuff out of them, so I just seen that too, and it's by alligator. They look like alligators.
Yeah, the Draco harvesting farms.
Hmm.
Yeah, those are awful. Thank you for
Hmm.
bringing that up, for people to have their awareness of it. So eventually you can stop. Yeah, so we'll be coming up with more and more solutions and psionic abilities for more of these problems on the planet. So look out for it. I am Sean Bond of Psionic League's founder, psionicleague.com, psionicleague@gmail.com if you want to reach me, PSI with Psi. And I got mystery school courses and classes for psionic abilities there with video products. And if you want to join the mystery school, hit me up. If you want to go on one of our quests around the planet of various places of power, pyramids, uh, places with superpowers that need healing and wholeness, and
Hmm.
uh, made to where they're protected, and they'll give back to you and upgrade your genetics. We're going to Mexico, so look forward to that, the different pyramids there. And we'll be going to like Japan and England and
Nice.
Ireland and other India and other places. So if you're interested in that, sign up. And you can send an email to my psionicleague@gmail.com for a trip inquiry. And for those out there, if you like this show, leave a
Of course.
comment. Show
Yeah.
Christy some love. Tell her if she tell us if you want to see her back on, and subscribe to both our YouTubes. Smash that like, share this with 5 friends. Get this out there. Those that you think
Okay.
might be going through some trauma, want it healed, resolved, to understand why they're going through what they're going through.
Mhm.
If, like the brothels and the sold in the sex slave in the SSP community, etc. And yeah, let us know what you think in the comments, and if you want to see this more.
Yeah.
Christy,
We
can
like
you?
feedback a lot. We like the feedback from people a lot because it helps us to go in deeper to things and to learn that what we're doing is helping others too. Because I know that that's our goal, to help others while we're
And then,
releasing our own trauma. We're living it and doing it. But that's kind of the best way to really release it out of us, is through helping, being of service in that way. Yeah.
definitely. And any last words you'd like to leave the audience with inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to come back and do some more of that, the releasing and stuff, with the looking and releasing those, the visions of memories, um so that's important to do that, to do the inner work, and find a way to get that out of get it out of you, whatever you have to do, if it's meditation or exercising or however. And if you can't, then see Sean about it, because you can see he can go into the details about it and help you to release it, and or face it. Really, you have to face it. He doesn't do the work for you. He just lets you see it so you can look at it, and then he can help you to find tools or whatever you're needing to help you to face it yourself so you can be a full person again. So
Same. Thank you.
yeah.
Same for you. Hit up Chrissy for one of her beautiful sessions. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Thank you.
thank you
Thank you.
everyone for coming, and hope to see you more. And we'll also